look at the East standings, that, of course, Michigan's first conference loss. The Spartans and Ohio State are still unbeaten. Remember, Michigan State plays Ohio State, as does Michigan, so they still have to play both of those, the Buckeyes do. It's not out of the realm of possibility to imagine a situation where the Buckeyes beat the Spartans but lose to Michigan, and all three finish 7-1 in the division, having split the head-to-head meetings 3 ways. So what happens then? Glad you asked. BTN.com senior writer Tom Dienhart joins us now. And Tom, we've laid out the scenario here. So you wrote about this yesterday. What would happen if the Buckeyes, the Wolverines, and the Spartans all end up with one conference loss?
Yeah, a 3-way tie would mean the Big Ten goes to its tiebreaker system. But in order to break this specific tie, they'd have to go down to the 5th tiebreaker, very highly unusual circumstances. And in this circumstance, that tiebreaker would be the college football playoff poll, would be the factor that would determine which team from the Big Ten East would represent the conference in the Big Ten championship game. So it's not ideal, obviously, very, very odd. And that last poll is not unveiled until Tuesday, December 1st. So obviously that's only, about 4 or 5 days before the actual championship game.
Well, it does present a logistical issue that you wouldn't know until Tuesday night who was going to represent the Big Ten East. I know you spoke with Big Ten conference officials. Why do they feel like this is the right way to determine a division champion?
Well, at this point, I think there's trust in that college football poll system more than anything. And, it's interesting. I was posed the question, Dave, by some people, would the college football playoff people consider moving up the release of that poll to accommodate the Big Ten so they would have a full 7 days between the end of the regular season and the Big Ten championship game? I got in touch with Bill Hancock from the College Football Playoff Committee, and he said no, they wouldn't do something like that. They're going to stick to their original release date that week, which again is December 1st. So, imagine if you're the Big Ten West champ. Well, let's just say Iowa. You're going to lose a couple of days of prep, or you're going to spend a couple of days preparing for maybe
for, let's say, it's Iowa, because obviously they're the clear-cut favorite at this point.
If you were to say Ohio State, you would go ahead and begin your preparations, obviously, on that Sunday, and you would know who you're going to play. So, it'd be much easier for that East champion, more so than Iowa in this hypothetical, which would have to spend a couple of days not knowing who their foe is going to be and having to compile information and potential game plans for 3 different teams.
Flip side, though, is if you're that team and you're trying to play your way into the college football playoff, you want to beat the team that the College Football Playoff Committee feels is the best one. And I think if you look at the logic of this, that's the bottom line, right? You're trying to get teams into the playoff, and so you defer to the playoff committee to let you know who's the team that they feel the best about.
Exactly right. And I'm sure no complaints from Iowa if they have to do a little bit of extra work. What an opportunity for a program like that, or anybody in that circumstance. So it's kind of fascinating to see if this will end up playing out like this in a few weeks. I know there's a lot of football left. We love to deal with hypotheticals and improbabilities, and this is certainly a very unique one.
Tom Dienhart from BTN.com. Thanks a lot for the insights on this, Tom.
You bet, Dave.